Hey, welcome to another The Real Money Coach. Hey, and today we're talking about entrepreneurship. I'm so excited. We have a very special guest, a dear friend who's someone who is really rocking and rolling. You're going to love her. I'm telling you. She walks the talk. She's so engaging. And what I really enjoy about this special guest is the fact that she has weathered storms. You know, it's one thing to start a business. It's another thing to see it all the way through and to accelerate. So I'm very excited. And so I'm going to bring up my dear friend, my brother, Tony Jackson. So we can talk about this subject of entrepreneurship, business ownership. And Tony, how are you doing today?
Marlon, I am awesome. I am awesome, man. It is a super awesome day. And, you know, I don't know if you know this. I'm sure you do.
Okay.
But November is Entrepreneurship Month.
Yes,
the whole month of November is entrepreneurship. But you know what? The Real Money Coach is entrepreneurship all year round, right? We always talk about entrepreneurship. But today, someone designated it as this is the month of entrepreneurship. And so we have Miss Entrepreneur herself on with us today in the person of Donna Maria. Man, I'm excited about this. And you know what I'm so excited about, Marlon, is that there are so many different types of businesses that you can have, so many types of different creativity that people have. And you've been an entrepreneur for now, what? How long? You've been there, tell me.
28 years. It'll be 29 January.
28 years. And so, man, that's you've weathered some storms. I have 23 years. But actually, if I really were to go back, I probably started selling some stuff long before that, right? I was probably in the 8th grade. I was an entrepreneur coming out of the womb, Marlon.
Right. I feel you, man. And you know what's so beautiful about it is the fact that, you know, you grow so much. And yeah, it's a little, nervous, there was some, for me, there were a lot of, in the early stages, especially, some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay.
Right.
But I tell you, looking back, I wouldn't trade those experiences, to take an idea and to manifest it into reality. My goodness.
Yeah.
And also, I think the other thing is the intrinsic value is that you really grow. It's real time. And so, I want to encourage everyone, put on your thinking cap. And I love what Tony said, this has been designated Entrepreneurship Month, November. And the lady who we're going to have on is really someone who you can learn a lot from. And I'm just excited because she's going to share some information with all of us. I'm talking to those of you that are aspiring entrepreneurs, those of you that are seasoned business owners, as well as those that are saying, I have an idea. And so I get ready because, again, Donna Maria is going to be bringing it. So, Tony, I'm excited, man. And, let me ask you this, Tony, as far as entrepreneurship, how has it blessed your life?
Oh, man, you know what, Marlon, I wouldn't trade it for anything. When you think about, and it's not, like you said, it hasn't always been smooth.
Sure.
And, I really want to speak to people about 2020. 2020 has been a rough year in terms of the coronavirus and shutdowns and all that kind of stuff. And we know there's a lot of businesses that didn't survive. But I'll tell you, man, if you can hang in there, if you could weather the storm, because this thing kind of hit everybody. But as an entrepreneur, you go through storms. But one of the things when I think about being an entrepreneur, for me is, man, it gave me where I didn't have cash, I had freedom, right? And so on the early years, man, to be able to coach my kids in their sports, to have the freedom to go to all their events, to go on the field trips, and all those things that if I were working a 9-to-5, I have missed out on. But I didn't go and say, hey, Mr. Boss, can I take the day off and go to Tony's field trip? Can I take the day off and go to the museum with Chris? Can I get off early so I can coach my daughter's basketball team? I have to tell you about that. That's an experience all by itself. It could be a show. I could do a whole show about coaching 8th grade girls basketball at Paragon Chartered Academy in Jackson, Michigan. It was an experience all by itself.
Right.
But man, it's just you get a chance to do some things that you wouldn't anyway. And I'll share this since you pulled it out of me. I remember a pastor, Pastor James Hines. I remember one day he told me, "Thank you." And this was probably like one of my first really customers where I was doing the type of thing that I want to do. And he said, "Thank you." And I was like, "Why are you saying thank you? What, you know?" And he said something to the fact, "Thank you for being a visible entrepreneur, particularly Black entrepreneur in our city, because my son and my daughter can look at a billboard and see you on a billboard and know that it's possible." And that was one of the greatest compliments anyone ever gave me. And it always stuck with me when he said that, because of, you know, when we see other people do it, Marlon, I know that you have family members. I've been around some of your family. I know how they look up to you. And it's not that we're on a pedestal. We struggle. We do go through the same things as everyone else. But they can look at a Marlon Smith and their family and say, you know, if Marlon can do it, then I can do it. And for it to be someone that they know. I mean, we can look and see entrepreneurs. I mean, the Magic Johnsons of the world, right? And you say, well, Magic Johnson played in the NBA. He's got millions of dollars. He owns an insurance company. He owns Starbucks. He owns movie theaters. He owns all these things from this little town, Lansing, Michigan. I remember going to his mama's house, man, when I was seeing over my godmother's house. But you can look at a Magic Johnson and say, well, he got a boost, man. He played for the Lakers. But then when you take someone that starts from the grassroots, right? Start with an idea and a vision, and you take that idea, you take that vision, and the Bible says you write it down, right? Rebecca says write the vision, but you take something from nothing and you create it with your own hands or your own mind. To me, that is powerful. And I love to see that. I love seeing people just be innovative in their businesses and creating business. And as we know, this is that really business is about finding a need or recognizing or discovering or seeing the need and then providing a solution to that need. And I think that's what Success Choice has done over the years. So kudos to you. I think that we've done our part in that space too. And we're just beginning. We're just beginning. We're going to unveil some things tonight. Real Money Coach family, we call this the TRMC family. We're going to reveal some things to you tonight that is going to be, you're going to be like, wow, I'm glad I want to be a part of this. Mark this day. This is November 19th, 2020, 11/19/2020. Mark this day that I was one of the first in the house, in the community, on the page, and we're excited about it. How's that?
That's awesome, man. We can feel your enthusiasm. You're excited. I want to say thank you to Ruth Bell, who's here. She's at Ruth Bell in the house. Charlotte, hello to the greatest guys, Tony and Marlon. And then we got a Facebook user says, good evening from Greenville, South Carolina. And then Day Chancellor said, good evening, D. Williams, Columbia, South Carolina. And then I think this might be a South African friend. Corey Vu is here, right? My favorite dudes right here, right? Oh, yeah, very excited. So if you haven't posted where you're watching from, go ahead and post. We would like to give you a shout out because time is so precious and we value you, okay? And so we got the West Coast, we got the East Coast, and even South Africa on the call right now. And, I think we need to go ahead. As Tony said, it's one thing to be given favor, but even a Magic Johnson, I mean, he had to work hard. I mean, I believe everyone still has to work. But what I think Tony was really saying is, for those individuals that maybe don't have that celebrity status, and our guest is somebody who really, is a person who created something with an idea whose time has come. And so we got Alice here and I see Vaughn is here from Texas. All right. And then Corey said, you best believe that. Okay. So yeah, Corey, if you all remember, we had Corey on some weeks ago, right? I mean, that brother, he rocked the house, huh?
Oh, man, people loved Corey.
Yes. And so,
right? And again, there's another entrepreneur. Remember, he was actually the first one that we had when we had our business mindset series.
Yeah.
So we had the business mindset series. Corey kicked it off, and it was outstanding, Marlon. It was just outstanding.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, so I want to say, Evelyn, thank you for being here. Charlotte in the house again, and then Tonya in the Queen City. So thank everyone. And I know there's more people, but I want to go ahead and get right into it because time is so precious. And so I'll go ahead and introduce our special guest.
Yeah.
And as I said, she's a dear friend and somebody I've known, I want to say at least 12 years. She and her husband and their children, and just really, really, I'm grateful to be able to call her a friend. A sister friend, right? And so Donna Maria is an attorney, author, podcaster, and the founder and CEO of the Indie Business, a trade organization that trains and coaches creative entrepreneurs to enjoy your life, build your business, and have your way. Woo! Come on, somebody. That's just the first paragraph, y'all. And so and that's why I want you to hear this bio, because she really is somebody who we can learn so much from. Her coaching and consulting enterprise, which has served hundreds of thousands of women over the past 2 decades, is the first membership-based business to ever launch online. Did y'all hear what I just said? Her idea was the first membership-based business to ever launch online. You talk about innovative. You talk about a pioneer. That's Donna Maria. She features an unsurpassed suite of benefits designed to empower small businesses. Donna Maria, her work is entrenched in her firm belief that entrepreneurship is for everyone. And it starts with the ability we all have to sell something that we create with our own hands and or our intellectual prowess. Her expertise and thought leadership has been featured, check this out, in several media outlets, including Forbes.com, ABC World News, Black Enterprise Magazine, Working Mother Magazine, Entrepreneurial Magazine, Ebony Magazine, and more. Lord have mercy. Donna Maria is a recipient of the Home-Based Business Advocate of the Year Award from the Small Business Administration's Washington, D.C. office. What? That's amazing. SBA recognized her to be the recipient of the Home-Based Business Advocate of the Year. That means she helps other businesses launch. Woo! She's a proud native of Washington, D.C. And now Donna Maria and her family, they reside in their adopted hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. Would you please stand to your feet? Get ready, because Donna Maria is coming on, the Real Money Coach. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone who's here. Thank you for that introduction. I am so excited to be here with you this evening.
Wow, Donna, thank you. We are so grateful to have you. And, Tony and I, we just, iron sharpens iron, right? And one thing I love about you is your spirit, your tenacity, your commitment to making a positive difference. And so over 21 years ago, you had this idea. You had this idea, Donna, for Indie Business. And so I want to hear from you. What gave you the audacity? I love that word. What gave you the audacity, Donna, 21 years ago to start your own business?
Well, I will tell you what I was doing before I started, and that'll kind of set the tone for where I went. I had been an attorney practicing law in Washington, D.C., and I've been doing that for several years. And while I liked it and I was making good money, I felt like I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. At the time I was single, I did not have any children, and I wanted to have a kind of lifestyle that would allow me, if I did get married, which I was hoping to do at the time, that I would be able to have freedom and flexibility to be with my children, especially while they were young. And so I looked for opportunities like that in the legal world. There are some out there today, but 20 years ago there weren't. Like, there just wasn't. People looked at me like I was a little bit loony when I said, hey, I want to work from home. And they were like, what? Of course, today everyone's doing that, and we've all been forced to do it to some extent. But back then it was a little bit of a crazy idea. And I decided that I wanted to, spread my own wings and create something that would allow me to continue to support myself and obviously my family if I ever had one, but which would also allow me to do something that I thought I would love and to serve in a way that really resonated with my heart. Because while the work of an attorney was a skill and it was useful and I felt like I was contributing, I wasn't contributing what I felt my purpose was in the world. And I really wanted to be able to do that. So over time, I learned how to make my own cosmetics. Now I'm still at my law practice at a corporation where I was working in DC, but I started a hobby of making my own products. And over time, people wanted to buy them. So ultimately, I quit my job and I opened a little store right outside Washington, D.C., where I sold my products. I taught classes and taught people how to make their own products. And long story short, what I found was there were a lot of other people who were starting businesses that were similar to mine, and their products were better than mine. Like my products were nice, but theirs were really nice. Like I wanted to buy all theirs. But what they didn't know how to do, Marlon and Tony, was they didn't know how to market. They didn't understand how to sell. They knew how to make great products, but that side of their brain was totally in gear, but they didn't have anyone to teach them how to market and how to sell. And I'm intuitively, I think, good at that. And so I said, maybe I'll close this product business down and start a business consulting to help these people whose products are way better than mine anyway, to sell their products. And so I did that. And after a very short time of one-on-one coaching and training, I realized everyone had the exact same questions. No matter what kind of business people were starting, the questions were the same. So I started a membership organization, which essentially group coached everyone. So what I was able to do was I was able to efficiently deliver my expertise one to many as opposed to one to one. So when I was able to deliver it one to many and just charge a membership fee for people to benefit from my expertise, that's how the business was born. That's exactly how it was born. And back then, there were no technologies around to support it. So everything was manual. Like the internet was in its infancy. Well, it still is really in its infancy, but it was in its real infancy 20 years ago. So websites, they were a bit of a mess back then. They didn't have all the great platforms that we have now to build your website on, Wix and Shopify and Etsy, and none of that stuff was around. So essentially, I just used cassette tapes, because that's what Tony Robbins was doing. So that's what I did. I used cassette tapes and I used the telephone. And I would coach on the phone, like on a conference call, and I would record it to a cassette tape and mail it to people. And that's how it all started.
Wow. Tony, what do you think, man? That's powerful, right?
Hey, listen, I know people that they don't even know what a cassette tape is.
I know. And remember when you would go to church, and after church, they would have the big cassette tape thing. They would put the original recording and push the button, and they would record 6 at a time.
Yeah.
I had one of those on my desk. Yep. So every time I did one, I would have all these cassette tapes. We'd push a button, we put it in a little clamshell case, and send it off to whoever ordered it. Right. And then I had a friend who fancied herself a website designer, which is laughable today, and we both laugh at it still today. She built this little weasel of a website for me, and people started coming. And I remember my very first member was a complete stranger to me. Like, I didn't know who she was. And that's when I knew I was onto something, because somebody that I didn't know, who didn't know me, saw value. So my early testing was a success pretty much immediately. I saw a need. This is what Tony said. I saw a problem. These people had a problem. They had products that were sitting on a shelf. And I was able to help them solve their problem. And that's just what I've done for 20 years and counting for my whole business life. That's what I do. And it's awesome, because I get to help people and help them solve their problems. But at the same time, I'm able to do it in a way that benefits my particular desired lifestyle. And so it's a double win for everyone.
So Zig Ziglar says, right, if you help enough people get what they want in time, you get what you want. So
It's true.
here's something that a lot of folks don't know today. I'm going to hit the fast forward button. Remember, we had that on cassette, right? We hit the fast forward button. So I want to fast forward 20 years. And now we're in 2020. And I even read today, and I put an email out and referenced this article. 163,000 businesses closed by August. You know, within a few months of this pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, we're hearing all these stories about the businesses struggling. We hear a lot about the disparity between, you know, minority businesses, Black businesses, women businesses getting access to capital, being approved for the PPP and all those programs that came out earlier. And you got, you know, companies saying, well, we're going to do something about this. But tell me, there are businesses that are thriving through this.
Yeah.
So in your network, in your group, tell me what's happening there that is helping businesses thrive.
The internet. Make no mistake about it. If you have a business and this pandemic hit you and you were able to pivot your sales to the internet, you won. And you won big because so many people didn't do that. And so here's the thing. A lot of the businesses that you're talking about are restaurants and retail stores. A whole lot of them. But here's the thing. Like, here's a short story. One of the local restaurants here, as soon as the pandemic hit, what did everybody need? What couldn't you find on a grocery store shelf?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper. Exactly. Ding, 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 ding. So they started having people be able to order food on the internet. They were taking phone call orders because they didn't have ordering online yet. You call them, and when you came to pick up your food, what did they have for you besides your food? They had a roll of toilet paper. and so again, it's a problem solved. And the other thing too is, even if you had toilet paper, you would want to go there just so you could take a picture of yourself, a selfie with your toilet paper from your favorite restaurant in your local community that is killing it in the middle of a pandemic. So people who thought about, instead of, let me just say, look, it's great to get PPE. It's great to get money. If the money's available, go get yourself some cash. But cash cannot replace the innovation. Cash cannot replace the new idea. The toilet paper, all he needed was to basically find a big box store and buy some toilet paper. That's all he needed to do. Right. And if he could do that, he could sell a whole lot of food and give away a roll of toilet paper. And then his customers would go tell all their friends where you can get toilet paper. Well, here's where you can get toilet paper and your lunch at the same time, right? So people who figured out how to crack that internet, now they're online. You can order online by now. It didn't take them long to figure that out. But we have members who, for example, had to close their stores, obviously by state, their governor's mandate. They had to close their stores. And so a lot of times what they ended up doing was just pivoting to the internet. Hey, everyone, we had to close our store, but guess what? We're over here on Instagram and we have a daily video to show you our products. And here they are. We're going to come live every day at 12 o'clock because you can't come to us. So we're going to come to you. So what happened? Everybody's at home with their feet up in the air looking at the internet. And so I've had members who have, quadrupled their businesses this year because of that. And so if you were able to look at the internet and see it for what it was, because you know what, no matter what kind of business you have, if you have a phone, you have access to your customers because you can talk to them on a Facebook page. Here we are, right? You can talk to them on Instagram. You can talk to them on YouTube, and it costs you a Wi-Fi signal. That's how much it costs you. So that is the answer to the question, Tony. They pivoted from what they had been doing to where were the customers? Where were the eyeballs? The eyeballs were on an iPad, a MacBook, a Samsung, an iPhone, whatever it is. That's where the eyeballs were, and that's where they went. And everybody who went there, if they have a good product in the first place, they still have a business.
So Donna, let me ask you this. Okay, so got it. Okay, the internet. I also heard you say you were an attorney, very successful attorney.
Yeah.
Went to law school, right?
I did all that, yes.
Right. And yet, so for our viewers who are watching, okay, what can you encourage them? Because one of the things you said about purpose, you also said you felt like there was a greater purpose. So for our viewers who are watching, who see the value of being an entrepreneur, who understand, you talked about freedom, you talked about having the flexibility. My question to you is, what advice do you have? Where do they start? I want to do it. I hear you say about the internet, but how do I tap into what my purpose is so that I can align that with this new entrepreneurial business?
Okay. Let me answer that a couple of ways. The first way I'm going to answer it is, I think a lot of people already have the seed of an idea that they just haven't thought of in that way. Like, a lot of us have things that we already enjoy doing or participating in. We've been inspired by someone else who has a business in that area, and we think it's something that we're interested in, but we never really stop long enough to think about it. So I want you, if you're within the sound of my voice, to think about whether there's already anything in your life that you already feel like it may be a hobby. For example, for me, I was making beauty products. It was a hobby of mine until I, sort of said, this could also maybe be a business. So it was already in my life. I just thought of it a little bit differently. If you don't have anything in your life that is already sort of inspiring you, or you feel like it's knocking on your door, what I want you to do is I want you to think about the hobbies that you do enjoy, and I want you to think about the skills that you have. What sorts of skills do you have? Are you a teacher? Are you a nurse or a physician? What sort of hobbies and skills do you have? What is your current job? What is your current job? What do you do in your current job that you might be able to take the skills that you have in that job and offer it to other people to help them solve their particular problems? And once you maybe narrow that list down to about 5 or 6 possibilities, right? Teaching is huge, especially on the internet. Let me just say, the statistics in terms of online learning are off the charts. They were already going off the charts before the pandemic. Guess what's happened to them now? They're in the stratosphere. Why? Because everybody is having to learn online now. They're having to learn how to learn online. And so if you have something that you can teach, you can start a business teaching that thing. So for example, look at so many people who are good in the kitchen. They know how to make smoothies, right? Or they're really good at cooking, different items, soups, vegetables, vegan, all the keto, all the different things. These people have started blogs where they blog their recipes, and they link the ingredients and the pots and pans and spoons to their Amazon account. So when people come to visit their blog and click on where'd you get that bowl, where'd you get that spice, where'd you get that spoon or that can of tuna or whatever, it links to Amazon. So the people who are customers or readers of that blog can easily go buy things, and the blogger gets a commission from the sale of everything that's purchased on Amazon. That blogger can also sell ads on their site. That blogger can also write an ebook with the 25 best smoothies for weight loss, and they can sell it online. And then that blogger can go to a book publisher and offer to sell a book. I have a member now. Let me just tell you, this is not outside of the purview for anyone. She was she worked for a auto parts company, and her job was to write descriptions for auto parts. Okay, that was her job. And when social media came along, they told her, okay, we want you to write a blog that also, tells people about these car parts or whatever it was. So she started doing that. That's how she learned how to blog, right? She learned on their dime. Well, she eventually discovered Mediterranean diet, right? And she loved it. She lost a lot of weight on this Mediterranean diet. So she started a YouTube channel. And every week she put up a new Mediterranean diet recipe on YouTube. And a book publisher found her there. And her book The New Mediterranean Lifestyle Diet by Donna DeRosa, you can look it up, came out last month. And so now she's getting booked on shows, she's getting booked, she's selling the book, she's getting booked as a speaker. And all of this happened because she learned how to describe car parts when she had a job at a car part manufacturer. So in hindsight, you can see the connection of the dots, right? But you can also see, for example, when she learned how to blog, she wasn't just thinking about, I'm blogging for them. She was thinking about the skill that she was developing and how maybe one day she could take that skill and apply it to an interest or a hobby, Mediterranean cooking, that she had, and turn that into something bigger. So one step at a time. She didn't, as Martin Luther King said, you don't have to see the whole staircase. All you have to do is see the next step. And when you take the next step and you take the next step, sometimes you don't know where you're going exactly. You don't know precisely where you're going. You need to have an idea about where you want to go. But she didn't know a book publisher would come along, but they literally came along out of the blue. Like, wow. We saw you on YouTube. Would you like to write a book? Yes, I would. And that's how it happened and I will tell you, I have published a book in the exact same way. I started writing a book. I wrote it, and 20 years ago, I took it to Kinko's, which was, I don't even know if they have Kinko's. I think FedEx bought Kinko's. I would go there. I would print my book out. I would spiral bind it, waiting an hour for it to be spiral bound, put it in an envelope when I got an order online, and I would ship the book out. After maybe a year or so of doing this, a publisher came along and said, we saw your book and we'd like to know if we could publish it. I said, yeah. And today I still get business from that book.
Wow, that is awesome.
And
That's
2 royalty checks a year.
That is awesome. You know, that story is just so inspiring. You know, just how people are taking innovation, and she learned to blog on the job, you know, and you know, sometimes we discount the things that we learn on the job, but when you take a job, look at everything that's going on around you, learn from those things, and those skills and the things you learn can be a tremendous asset for you when you're off and doing your own business. There are some things that I learned knocking doors and doing some things that I've done, selling Cutco knives in college and all those type of things that you can't learn anywhere else. And so we love that. Donna, I got to ask you this. I mean, everyone wants to know this, right? Everyone wants to know, what is the secret sauce to being successful?
The secret sauce.
The secret sauce. Come on.
Okay, so
finish up the secret sauce.
Okay, I think, I don't know if I would call it the secret sauce, but I can certainly say that a business is going to thrive if it is built around a community, in the midst of a community of people. So, for example, the toilet paper restaurant, right? It's a local restaurant. The people rallied around them, get your toilet paper and your lunch at the same time. People would come back the next day. So when you have a community and when you are serving people and not just tossing whatever it is that you offer out there, not just selling t-shirts, right? Not just offering your services. Hey, here's a new webinar. I'm going to teach you how to build a business, Donna Maria style. And then I'll see you again next month. No, when you build a community around your brand and you create opportunities for people in your sphere of influence to get to know each other inside your community, what you're building is an ecosystem that empowers everyone in that community. And when people are empowered, genuinely empowered by someone who really has their best interests at heart, they come back over and over and over and over and over again. They are not one-trick ponies. Like, for example, anybody could sell something one time, right? Like the first member I got, she could have bought one time and never came back, right? But to sustain a business, you need that person to come back next month or next year or next week or whatever to buy from you again. And that requires a community of people that, again, form like an ecosystem of authenticity and genuineness around your brand. And when you are serving people from your heart, when you are fulfilling your life purpose or one of your life purposes by doing that, then people will come because they want more of what you have to share. And then you create environments for them to share with each other and learn from and grow and develop themselves in a community. A rising tide lifts all ships. And so when that happens, it's almost like the brand begins to take on the personality of the people it is serving. And when that happens, you have the ability to, you just have the ability to have never-ending sales opportunities and never-ending communities of people whose lives are enhanced because of what it is that you offer, whether it's a product or service. So I would say the secret sauce is community. And here's another thing. If you go on the internet today and you see social media, and look at all the brands who are on social media and the idea of brand influencers, right? Why is that important? Because if you sell tacos, okay, you're the taco food truck, right? You sell tacos. So you're going to be at the corner of 5th and Elm, on Fridays at 5 o'clock. So you post on your Instagram, we're going to be at the corner of 5th and Elm, and then you have a hashtag, Donna's Tacos or whatever it is for your business. When you do that and you ask your community to do the same thing, you guys, when you buy a taco, I want you to take a picture of me and your taco truck and your delicious taco and hashtag me and tell everybody that there's only 10 left. Guess what's going to happen? People are going to come down to that taco truck and they're going to be looking at each other like, I just saw you on the, yes, thank you for letting me know about these tacos. Well, you know what? We also have a YouTube channel where we all come together and talk tacos, or we have a Facebook group, maybe where we all get together and we talk about this and we enjoy our tacos together and we learn and share and we grow together. That is what brand influencers do. They are paid a lot of money to introduce your product to their audience because they have a what? They have a community. So if you don't have a community, you're going to pay a brand influencer $5,000 to say your brand name on their Instagram so their community can do what? Become part of your community. So the companies that have the use of the internet, as we said earlier, who understand the importance of building a community, serving people with genuine love, authentic affection, not just trying to throw a product at them, because everybody, you can get anything everywhere today, right? There's nothing that you or I offer that people can't go someplace else for, but they can't get us there, right? They can't get you there. They can't get you and your genuine love and concern for them. And as Marlon has always told me, before people care, they need to see that you care. And when you do that, you can build a community around your brand. And if you are serving them well, they will come back and they will purchase from you over and over and over again, as long as you're serving them well. So it's community. That's the secret sauce.
You said so much in there that is so awesome. And, when I think about it, and of course, the Real Money Coach and what Marlon and I do, and in combination with Chris, and is that we teach financial education. And one of the things that we always talk about is that money is something that we don't talk about. I didn't grow up at home where they talked about money around the kitchen table. All I knew is my dad went to work. He worked at the same place 38 years. He came home, he put the money on the table. Mama took care of everything from there, right? And we didn't talk about it at church. We didn't talk about it at school, really. In economics, we don't talk about, I was an accounting major and didn't talk about money. we talked about credits. I mean, as though, and so what we want to do, and what we're really excited about tonight, folks, is that we want to create a community where we can get in and we can talk about money. We can talk about victories. We can talk about wins. We can put ideas out there. Marlon and I are really blessed, and we get a chance to talk to a lot of people. But guess what? We don't know all the answers. And so we love to have a community where we can talk about it. And we started this show in April 2nd, 2020, because we wanted to get some communication out because people were panicking because of the stock market crashing. And we wanted to have a conversation around that. And here we are some 6 months later, and we're saying now it's time to take the conversation to another level, to turn the conversations that we've been having on Thursday nights into a community where everyone can come and participate any time of day, any day of the week, and find a community that is talking about, I said it, MONEY, money. I know we don't want to say it. And I remember one time someone said something to me. It's like, hey, all you guys talk about on your show is money. I was like, well, we're called the Real Money Coach. What are we supposed to talk about? Widgets? But we're looking forward to having that community, and we want to introduce that to you tonight. And we really, this is, it's been strategic. We got Donna Maria, who's an expert in this thing, and we've asked her to take a look at our community that we've been developing behind the scenes, guys, and we have not released it. We have not made it public until today. And so I don't know, Chris, can you bring that up? Donna, can you give us your feedback on it? Let's go to the Real Money Coach community on Facebook. Private, exclusive group just for you, just for everyone that has been following us for these 6 months. Invite your family, friends. Let's have a conversation about money. Let's have a conversation, because if we don't talk about it, if we don't do something different than we've been doing, we'll continue to go down the same road that we've been going. And we want to change the generational financial trajectory of your family. That's what we want to do. And so how can we do that, Chris? Can we do it? Let's figure out how we can bring this up and let people see what's there, and invite folks. You see it in the chat box. It's facebook.com/group/the Real Money Coach.
Yes. Yes. And if I could share, Tony, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm in the group. So if you go over there, what you do is you go to facebook.com/groups/the Real Money Coach. And if you have any trouble, just post in the comments here, wherever you are, someone will be there to help you. We'll comment back to you to let you know what to do. Just click the join button at the top of the group. There's a beautiful green graphic with Marlon's smile and Tony's smile there to greet you. Right there under there is a button that says join. When you click join, give it a few minutes for someone to actually on Facebook will percolate up that so-and-so has asked to join the group, and they'll admit you to the group. And let me tell you about Facebook groups. So you guys probably have heard of them or been a part of some maybe. Some groups are great. Some groups are not great. This group is great. This group is going to be great, and I'm going to tell you why. And I don't have an interest in this group. This is not my business. I just know Marlon and Tony, and I know them personally. And one of the things I understand about them is they are committed to helping others succeed. They have really big hearts. Like sometimes I'm surprised that when they tell me they do things and, we did this and we offered this program and we helped some people do this. And I'm like, how did you have time to do all that? And they're like, they're committed to enhancing people's lives through helping them to translate money into the kind of life that they want and helping the money work for them as opposed to them always working for the money. And so I have been inspired. I am, I have a business, but, I got finances to deal with, but it's honestly, I'll tell you, it's just not the most fun part of my business. But Tony and Marlon are helping me understand more about money. And so now, even though it's not my favorite part, it certainly is taking on a whole new meaning. So as we move through this pandemic, everyone, and as we actually move through the way the world is right now, friends, it is unpredictable. In a lot of ways, it's scary. I just sent a child off to college. We are paying for college. Even though she got a partial scholarship, we still have money due, so we're paying that. She got a partial scholarship because she plays a sport. She went off to college, and there's no sport. She cannot play her sport. And she cannot go outside and meet new friends in college. Now, for those of you who have been to college, you remember when you were a freshman, what did you do? You met people. There were parties, there were social events, there were gatherings, there were study halls, all those things. She doesn't have an opportunity to do that. And so her world right now is turned upside down by this pandemic. And how she's going to support herself is very much in question. It's not going to be the same as it was for us. So we have to equip her, and Tony and Marlon are going to help us do that. So there's a picture of the Facebook group. Look at that. Welcome, real information about your money, relevant, educational, actionable, and life-changing. And isn't that what we all want? We all want to be a part of something that's relevant, educational, actionable. We can actually do it, and it's also life-changing. So if you click the join button when you get there, you can invite your friends as well. Look in the upper right-hand corner, Chris. You can show them there's a little button that says invite. You can invite your friends to join and let them know what's going to be going on here. This is a safe place, too. I've talked to Tony and Marlon about this. This is a safe place for people to gather, to talk, and share their questions and their challenges where money is concerned. So they're ready for you and really excited for you to be here. I'm going to go see in here. Yeah. What do you think, Marlon? You ready?
Yeah, no doubt. And I just want to say thank you to all the individuals who have just joined us. This is really exciting. And so many people have already joined. And again, that's where the power comes. That's where the power lies when we come together. Dr. Benita Harris, want to say thank you for joining us. And Denise, Sister Denise. Also want to thank Chad. I mean, I can go down the line, right? I mean, so many people have joined us just now. My Uncle Jerome has joined us, and Timothy Day. So I want to say thank you because, again, as Donna said, community is everything. It really is. I mean, you think about it. When you're 95 years young and you look back on your life, what's really going to matter? It's going to be the treasured memories and the loving relationships. And as Tony said, many times we don't talk about finances around the dinner table, but yet it's such a critical component of our life. And so I'm just excited. Thank you so much. This is our debut. And I want to just thank everyone for, encouraging your family, your friends. Come join us. We'll be posting videos. We'll be posting different articles. We'll be sharing answers to questions. So this is where it's going to go down. And, and then with those people in our Facebook group page, we'll have some thought leaders, like the Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, like the Dr. George Frazier. I'm sure we'll have Donna come back, and have individuals really, share information within our Facebook group page. So we are excited to have you. And this is exciting. And again, I didn't even know, Donna, that members can invite their family and their friends. Is that right?
Yes. In the little button in the upper right-hand corner, if you're on a desktop, if you're on your phone, there is a series of links across the top of the page of your phone. You can move it. It says like events, invite is one of them, discussion. You can move that across your screen by going back and forth on your phone, and you'll be able to do that. Invite your friends. And I know one of the things that you guys have planned is, what you've told me anyway, is like, you're going to be asking them what they need as well. Like, right. You're going to take some polls and ask some questions so that you can be even more relevant. And you also have some training events already planned in the queue to be teaching them and giving them opportunities. And some of them they'll be able to come and take, and then there'll also be some opportunities to get even more intensive training that you have down the road that you'll offer, right?
That's right, 100%.
Absolutely. And one of the things too is that we want to make sure that when you go there, there's a graphic that says introduce yourself. Make sure you go there and put some comments to introduce yourself. You know how we do on Thursday, where are you calling from? But put some stuff in there, introduce yourself. Again, we want to make this real community. And, some possible things that we're talking about doing is book study that would happen within the group and some of those types of things where we're just going to enhance our financial IQ. We're going to just bring some things that are really going to be practical, even not just theory, but practical. And we're going to celebrate our wins in terms of when people are, when you're having success. We want you to post that. Hey, listen, I got rid of this debt. I used the snowball method, or whatever it happens to be. But we really want to make this a community where we are sharing with each other. And this is the TRMC Facebook family. This is what it's all about. And so we're looking forward to just engaging with all of you on a weekly basis and just making this. I'm really pumped about it. I'm really pumped about it. And y'all, I wasn't even on Facebook 6 months ago. And now you guys got me in a Facebook group, and I'm loving it. I'm loving being a part of this because it's just so much nice information that we can share and link to other things because, we read and we see articles and we think that might be of value to you. We're going to post it, and we're asking you to do the same. And so just make sure tonight that you go in there, introduce yourself, join the group, and so that you can be abreast of all the things that's going to happen. There are some things, folks, that we're only going to do inside of the group. And Donna talked about it. Marlon and I, we do a lot for free. We do a lot of classes for free. Matter of fact, we're doing one on Monday for free for Hub about access to capital for your business. So we do a lot of classes, churches, and all that stuff for free. And there's a lot that we're just going to be now making exclusive for our group, our family. It's kind of one of those things. I don't know about you, but I grew up with a mama and a grandmama, right, that said this: don't air your laundry. Don't air your dirty laundry out there for everybody to see. There are some things that need to happen that stays in the family. It ain't Vegas, but what happens here in this group stays in the group, where we can be real with each other, we can be honest and transparent. Because I used to use this phrase all the time when I was preaching. Ain't none of us Jesus Jr., right? There's none of us there's none of us here that haven't made some mistakes along the way and are still making them. But we can come together and we can talk about it. We can support one another. We can
work it out
and work it out in this journey towards financial freedom and financial literacy. So
Tony, can I piggyback on that for a second too?
Sure.
What you're describing is what happens. Like if you want to go far in any particular area of your life, you need support. You need support. If you want to go fast, you can go fast all by yourself. Chances are good that you're going to miss some things along the way. But if you want to go far and you really want to put all the big rocks in your bag, you want to make sure that you're able throughout the course of your life to check off all the big rocks, some of the things that George Fraser was talking about: forming a business, owning real estate, making sure you have insurance, making sure that you're managing what assets you do have now, no matter how big or small they may be, with solid money management principles. That the hard work that we do to structure those things in our lives are what delivers the freedom down the road. And so doing the things that a lot of people don't want to do right now is what's going to produce the freedom. Like the discipline now produces the freedom of tomorrow. And so doing it in a community where you can get ideas, not just from Tony and Marlon, and they've done all of the studying, they're certified financial experts, but also from other people's life experiences. What did you do when this happened to you? How did you handle it? How did you support your child when this happened? What are you telling your children about all the credit card applications they're throwing down? The pandemic has not stopped them from doing that. I'll tell you that right now, because my daughter has a boatload of them. Like, how are you training your children to not get sucked in by all of that? And so the community experience, the real life experience, is what adds additional value into a group like this, that you are not alone if you're starting a business. You are not alone if you're flipping your first piece of property. You are not alone if you're confused by which insurance program you should buy and so forth. You have people around you, including Tony and Marlon, but you have other people who are like you, who are similarly situated to you, who want to see you succeed as they succeed.
Wow.
We said that at the same time, Marlon. We both said, wow.
Yes.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for your kind words, and you're spot on. I mean, that's our hearts. And thank you for recognizing that and mentioning that tonight. So, man, I'm full. I'm excited. I'm kind of geeked up. I'm looking at, all the folks who have joined. Thank you all for doing that and inviting your family and friends to this safe place. And so we're looking forward to great things and great communications between all of us.
So tell me, for our viewers, as we're about to wrap up, in regards to, a community, having a Facebook group, what are the benefits? What are you excited about, as far as this private Facebook group page, the Real Money Coach? Just type in the chat box, what would you like to see? What would you like to experience? Are there certain topics that you'd like to talk about? Give us some ideas, because again, this is our community. This is not a one-man show. This is basically us coming together and sharing. So type in the chat box, what do you want to see? Because we want to customize this to bring the most value add. Do you see even value in this? You can say yes or no. But we'd love to hear from you. And then, are you excited about, how we stay connected? Yes, we come together every Thursday, but could you imagine having dialogue, being able to post a question on a Monday morning or a Wednesday evening or Saturday and getting feedback, seeing other people celebrating their successes? How important is that? I think that's going to be value add, because when you realize, wow, there are other people that are on this journey called life who are dealing with some of the same things I'm dealing with, and they're having breakthroughs, it inspires you. It truly does. So to me, yeah, this is going to be phenomenal. And I want to say thank you, everyone. I've already people saying, hey, Marlon, Tony, thank you guys for inviting me to be part of this community. Great discussions. So I want to say thank you for that, because again, we're just, as Donna said, innovation. And what did she say? The internet. And she said community. So to me, that's it. Those three, right? For you to have, this is Entrepreneurship Month. And so again, innovation, right? Innovation. Think about that. The internet and community. And so that's what we're doing. This is our launch, and we're excited. And again, our best is yet to come. So with that being said, Donna, do you want to share anything, Tony?
Yeah, Marlon, I do. I want to just share something else real quick before you close out with our signature close. And what I want to say to everyone, and there's a few people in particular, Alice Martin, Ruth Bell, and others. I want to say thank you, because before we had this platform of this group, you all were always encouraging. You're sending us text messages, you're sending us emails, you're giving us topics and ideas. And those things have carried us through these last 6 months. And it's given us, things that we can talk about on the show. It's given us ideas for guests on the show. And so I want to honor all the people that have been listening and doing that all along. And now, because of what you've done, and it's so much value in it, we've now said, hey, listen, let's expand the platform where more people can do that. We can have more Alice Martins, we can have more Ruth Bells, we can have more, and I'm just naming those two because I just saw them. I know there's so many of you. It's always dangerous when you start naming names, but I just want to thank all of the viewers who just have poured into what we've done. And we're just encouraging you to continue to do that. We're simply taking the platform to another level. So we're taking this platform from we're taking it from Thursday night only to now it's available whenever you want to go on there. And of course, we've been doing our classes different days of the week and that type of stuff. And so we're just excited. But I didn't want Marlon to close without us saying thank you to all of those who've been carrying us along. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we may not be able to respond as quickly as we can. This is going to help us because not only you won't be sending it just to Marlon and I, but you'll be saying it to the community. Hey, anyone's got any idea about X? And then there's else in the community that's had that experience. And so, boom, we love you all. Thank you for being part of the community. And we'll just continue to do this. And I want to thank Donna Maria as well. You know, Donna, that's one of my favorite names. My sister's named Donna. You know, my sister's named Donna. So you know, but we want to thank you for that. And thank you for your encouragement and what you brought to the show tonight. And so with that, Marlon, I'll turn it back over to you, brother.
Awesome. And so, yes, thank you, Donna Maria. You're a rock star, young lady.
Thank you for having me. And look, I'm looking on my phone. I'm looking at Tiffany, Chris, Angel, Jerome, Denise, Elisa, Janice, Evelyn, Timothy, Adroniki, I hope I said that correctly, Emery, Adele, Valerie, Ardrew, Donna, Chad, Eve. You guys are the foundation of the Real Money Coach community. You are the first people here. So kudos and congratulations.
Yeah, it's powerful. And so thank you. It, you know, what did it say? It takes an entire village to raise a child. And I think right now in our world, community is so important. And so we want to say thank you. We truly do. And I see that Ruth Bell said, you know, when I asked the question, she said, just coming together, being able to learn from each other, right? That's one of the things that she would love to do. And then Janice said, I want to see our beautiful people running thriving, vibrant businesses. And then Alice said, I'm looking to learn within a new community experience. Thank you. And I love what Chad said. Chad's been with you guys since this summer. Thank you for your service. And so again, you know, that's what we're doing. We are here to stay: innovation, internet, and community. Okay, IIC. And that's really what we're striving. We're striving to add more value. We're striving to be more of a blessing for all of us. And I love what Tony said, not just a Thursday night experience. Now it's 24/7. What? I mean, This is amazing, right? And, you know, people will be, you know, sharing information. I mean, this is our community. And we're going to have some games. We'll have fun. I mean, we'll have challenges. It's going to be exciting. And we're creating as we go. So with that being said, I want to say thank you because there's greatness within you. We appreciate you, as Tony said, all of you for just, you know, dropping in. I know many of you right now are watching the recording. And so please, as you're watching the recording, you can be part of this as well. All you got to do is go to facebook.com/groups/The Real Money Coach. And you go ahead and join us. And then for those of you that are already in there, you can go ahead and invite your family and your friends because we're all in this together. And so, you know, with that being said, I want to also bring up the man who's behind the scene. And I hope that he can come on the screen. Sometimes he likes to just be like in the Bat Cave. You know, I call him Batman because that brother just likes to, you know, be undercover. He ain't fooling me, okay? And so I'm going to see if Chris, our brother Chris Jackson, CJ, if he can come up. Good vibes, all right? If he can come up on the screen, I don't know if he can because he's working the technology, but I'm sure he'll join us if he can, but you'll definitely see him in the Facebook group page. I promise you that. But I want to say thank you, Chris, because you're such a blessing. You know, Chris has moved from Michigan to, you know, and he's one of the, you know, founding partners of the Real Money Coach, and just very grateful because, you know, one of the things you find when you talk about entrepreneurship, and this is a wonderful, wonderful insight, is that what you want to do is you want to do what you do the best and connect with others to do what they do the best. And that's how you grow. That's how you really expand, right? I mean, I'm very clear on what my gifts, what my talents are. Tony's very clear on what his gifts and talents are. Donna Maria is very clear on what her gifts and talents are. Chris Jackson is very clear on what his gifts and talents are. And so can you see, coming together, there's power. Because 1 + 1, you've heard me say this before, 1 + 1 is not 2. 1 + 1 standing side by side is 11, straight up. And so that's the power of synergy. That's the power of synergy. And the last thing I'll say before I do the closing signature, when I lived in South Africa, I was very, very inspired by the Black South Africans. And the reason being is because there was a spirit in that community, and they had a word, there's a Zulu word called Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is I am because we are. I am because we are. And so that's the spirit that we're going into this Real Money Coach Facebook group. I am because we are. We support each other, we encourage each other, we celebrate each other. And so with that being shared, please share with your family, your friends, because this is where we can create a movement. No more talk. It's now time to walk the talk. And so the Real Money Coach. In conclusion, remember this: a vision without action is just a dream. A lot of action without a vision is merely a passing of time. But a vision with action can change the world. Stay blessed.